Hello and welcome to this hurricane. Isaias. I can't pronounce it, but Isaias. All right, I think I got it. But it is now a hurricane again, and it is strengthened to a hurricane, and it's actually strengthened quite a bit. And this storm's actually gotten itself together quite well, actually. Uh, and we are under a tropical storm warning for our area. So let's get to the chart here on. I'm just going to call it Isaias, all right? Because it's just easier for me. So let's do the warning cone. So we are under all this blue here you see is tropical storm warnings. And there's a hurricane warning in effect for parts of South Carolina and North Carolina. Once it makes landfall, it will weaken to a tropical storm. But you can see it's picked up its movement now, north-northeast at 16 as it gets flung up the coast. And things are not looking good with this at all. So let's get the latest public advisory on this. And my computer has been a little slow because I just started it, so you'll have to. There might be some. I might be waiting a little bit, but Isaias regains hurricane strength and is expected to make landfall tonight with dangerous winds and storm surge. Strong winds and heavy rainfall likely from the eastern Carolinas to the mid-Atlantic coast tonight and Tuesday. So, as of 8 p.m., its location is 32.8 north, 79 west, about 60 miles east of Charleston, South Carolina, and about 60 miles south of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Maximum sustained winds are 75. Okay, so now it says 75, but it was 85 when, what's going on here? It looked like it said 85 when I clicked on the thing, unless it just strengthened again. So it is a hurricane, 75 miles an hour. Movers north-northeast at 15 miles an hour. At north-northeast at 16 miles an hour. Why does that say 85? Hold on. There's a glitch, or they just put a new one up. All right, that says 75 on that. But when I click on this, when I went on this, it said 85. 85 miles an hour, maximum sustained winds as of 9 p.m. So it is deepened, 988 millibars. All right, you know, we're going to have to wait to get some updated information here on the storm. But it's strengthened, and it's strengthened again. So it went from 75 to 85 miles an hour. It's over that really warm water. It's deepening, and it's heading our way. And a lot of people are taking this storm way, way too lightly. So we're going to look at it on the radar now. And look at that. Wow, well-defined eye. Let's see if we get this radar. We're going to have to wait for it to load. Yes, we had a little severe thunderstorm activity tonight. Yeah, all right, it's starting to move now. Okay, so we had a little severe thunderstorm activity tonight. You can see over here that this line of there was some gusty winds, and it looked like it just beat the heavy rain. Some gusty winds and lightning with it. But getting back to Isaias, you can see well-defined circulation here south of South Carolina here. And look at this heavy rain now that they're getting lopped with here in looks like Wilmington, Myrtle Beach. The north side very well developed. The right side actually has quite a good amount of moisture on it. And that is a very well-defined looking. That's a well-defined looking hurricane right there. It's over the warm water, and it re-strengthened. That is definitely something that I totally expected. Everybody was saying, oh, the hurricane said it's not going to become a hurricane again. I knew it would with all that warm water. You cannot, I got to say this, you cannot underestimate that warm ocean and what it's doing to these storms. So let's go look at the satellite, which I haven't loaded, so we're going to have to wait. And this update is going to be all about Isaias. We're not going to really be talking about anything else. We're going to be talking about Isaias, and that's it. So here you go. Look at that convection that just flared up there. Wow, that's impressive. That's some really, you see that black? That's some really impressive convection right there that had just flared up. So let's take a look at this on the visible shortwave IR. So wouldn't mind getting a little. I wanted to see if there was there was an eye in here. It looked like there was an eye trying to get going right there. You can see the eye wall, and look at all that convection around it there. That's pretty impressive. I gotta say, that's very impressive. That's extremely impressive. So let me look at the. No sense looking at the spaghetti models because we all know which way this is heading. can see it down here, getting into the frame here. But let's go to the southeast so we can get a better look at this thing. Look at that. That's definitely really looking nice. So it's well, looking bad for us, but looking nice as far as development goes. Yeah, you can see that really looks healthy. That looks healthy. This is, and you can see it's kind of undergoing that rapid strengthening as it makes landfall, which is bad. It's bad when a strengthening hurricane makes landfall. We've talked about this before. That can cause a lot of damage. So, getting back to it's Isaias, I guess we will look at the spaghetti models, but we pretty much know which way this is going, and this is going to go. Looks like it's heading. It looks like the models might be tracking even further west now, a little more west of the I-95 corridor. But I still think we're going to be in for some winds. So I guess we're going to get started and look at these models here and take a look at this. But yeah, it looks like it had just strengthened. So you can see we have that severe thunderstorm warning. I'll just go over that right now. Severe thunderstorm warning. You can see these severe thunderstorms that moved on through. Nothing really that impressive, but there was some good wind gusts when they had first arrived, and some lightning flashes. Nothing really that, like I said, nothing really that impressive. So you're right, got really humid out there. 82 with a dew point of 74. It sure did feel like it got really humid out there. Earlier today, the humidity was low, and then it came up in the later part of the afternoon. It actually did hit 91 at Farmingdale. So we'll go over the highs for the day. I guess we'll go to the weather and hazards viewer. I guess we'll look at some of the highs for the day. Well, you know what? It's just easier. We'll have to pull up that viewer in a minute. So 80 and a dew point of 76. So the tropical air has arrived. And it looks like it hit 87 at Islip. So I'm going to pull up that weather and hazards viewer right now. And well, let me just look at Tom's River. So you can see tropical storm warning in effect for our area. We're all in the red. Let's get this loaded here. Again, you're going to have to be patient because, like I said, 70 degrees, actually a little less humidity in Tom's River, believe it or not. Let's see what it hit there. 93, easily the hot spot. So it looks like, yeah, they got that thunderstorm. And that gave them a half an inch of rain. So let me go to that weather observation viewer right now so we can take a look at some of the observations. Not just here, but down in the Carolinas where Isaias is making landfall. So here we go. So you can see those warnings all up the east coast. It looks like there's a tornado warning in effect for... So we're going to see chances for tornadoes as this thing makes landfall. There's a good bet on that. So let me put the dew point in here. You can see that tropical air here now that it's extended all the way up after some drier air. Let's take a look at some of these winds here. Okay, this one's pretty impressive. This buoy right here is reporting a southeast wind at 49, gusting to 65. So that's pretty impressive right there. And this buoy is reporting a west wind. You can see where the center is. West wind at 36, gusting to 47. And this thing is now moving inland here. If we look at Myrtle Beach, they're dealing with a northwest wind, 32, gusting to 39. If we look at North Myrtle Beach, we have a northeast wind at 31, gusting to 48. So it's a significant wind. The wind gusts are in the red here, and you can see we're starting to see those winds, and we're going to start seeing them tomorrow as we get into tomorrow for our area. You can see we're all in on this warning right here. Whoa, 52 mile an hour gust. Whoa! West-northwest of the gust, 52 recorded at JFK, probably from that severe thunderstorm. And Farmingdale, a northwest wind gusting to 54. Wow, that's impressive. So there was some really impressive wind gusts with this severe thunderstorm that moved through. I don't think we got them here. They must have missed us. We didn't really get the severe wind gusts. So this is already probably going to cause some power outages. And again, I don't know, we're missing some observation. Again, I'm dealing with slow internet. You have to just bear with me. The internet, and it's not just me, everybody, everywhere, it's very slow. There was a gust at Hofstra to 32 miles an hour. Let's see, I'm trying to find the Carl Place station. Gust only to 12. So yeah, for some reason, this hit more over the South Shore. 39. whatever reason we didn't get those strong wind gusts, that's going to cause some power outages for sure, and the storm isn't even here yet. So we'll look at the high temperatures for today. So there's so much to talk about with the weather right now. High temperatures, yeah, pretty much around 90 across the island. South Shore was in the mid 80s. Yeah, around 90, upper 80s out east. The city, let's see, Central Park probably got up to 90. Let's see. And it's not loading. I can't really be bothered with it. All right, so 88 at Central Park, 93 at LaGuardia. We already know Times River hit 93 as well. So, yeah, hotter. Obviously, it was cooler on the island. Okay, so now we can go to the models. Turn that off, and we'll look at the models. But actually, before I turn that off, let me look at the power outages. PSG Long Island. Let's see, because that with those wind gusts, they probably caused some power outages already. Let's see what we got going on here. Yeah. All right, we have 4,379 power outages. Not in my area so much, but where those wind gusts happen. Looks like along the South Shore. And I was on the South Shore a little while ago. Yeah, we got some power outages here. I don't see any huge ones, however. Again, oh God, the internet is just terrible. It's almost. I've never seen the internet this slow. And it's, like I said, it's not just me. It's on my phone. It's slow on my phone too. I can't even get good 3G. It's slow there too. So we have a lot of scattered little outages. Looks like you would think with that kind of wind, there'd be some larger outages. Maybe the North Shore. So already dealing with power outages from this, and it's going to get a lot worse tomorrow. Again, just waiting for this to load. And yeah, we got the tropical storm warning in effect. So I don't know. I don't see too many large outages here. I don't know, but that's a large amount. 4,003. There's got to be a large one somewhere. But I don't say. I see these ones in red are probably like anywhere from like 100 to 500. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I don't see. There must be a lot of scattered little ones. I don't see. Gosh, it's not even loading. This is going to be even slower tomorrow. And the storm's not even here yet. This is just a severe thunderstorm came through. That's all. We'll see if it's affecting the railroad at all. And then we got to look at the models. All right, we got to look at what's going to happen. What Isaias is going to do to us. What about these severe thunderstorms? That let's see. I don't see anything here. Okay, so let's go and look at the models here. Okay, so here's Isaias. We're going to look at the northeast view on the GFS. Here it is, very deep, and you can see it races it up. And we're going to deal with the worst wind Tuesday afternoon, but it looks like the heaviest rain is to our west, which kind of sucks because we could have used some of that rain. We'll get some rain out of it, but it's mostly going to be wind and coastal flow. You can see this thing races through here. That's the one thing you can see. So let's see how much rainfall this thing is going to give us. Yeah, not very much. Suffolk County is going to get gypped. It's only going to be the western areas. The GFS says the eastern Pennsylvania is going to get clipped with over 2 inches of rain. That's according to the GFS anyway. So let's go look at the winds. That's going to be the factor for us, I think. So here's the winds, and this is where it gets disturbing. So you can see the center here. This is Tuesday morning. So the wind's starting to move up into the southern parts of Delmarva, and then as we go to the 18Z, the Jersey Shore, right off the Jersey Shore, you have sustained winds of 50 miles an hour. And that's going to be moving into the South Shore. Now, with that further west track, the brunt of the winds is probably going to hit the South Shore of New York City, Queens, Brooklyn, Nassau County, and western Suffolk. And like I said, this is very disturbing. It's going to be bad for the coast. Now, it will move through fast, but it's going to cause a good amount of power outages in that short amount of time. Like I said, I'm still standing by the fact that we could see as many as 300,000 people lose power from this storm as it moves. This will be the most significant power outage event since we've seen since Sandy. No, it's not as bad as Sandy, but it is the worst since Sandy. And you can see some of those winds there getting into Nassau County. But you can see it races through. So literally, it's gone by 8 o'clock. It just races through in that energy. But we're on that right side of the storm. So this is the side of the storm with the most wind, and the left side is the side with the rain. But we're going to be getting the wind. We're going to be getting the flooding, and we're going to be dealing with the possibility of tornadoes as well. You always have a tendency to see that, especially in the northeast corner. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that too, as the storm moves up and through our area, and then it's gone by Wednesday. It's like racing through, and that's the thing. It's got you got to add the wind that the storm has, and add the speed of the storm on top of that. So that's why the winds on the right side are so much worse. So let's go ahead and look at the other model, which is the NAM. We'll look at the NAM 12 kilometer, and it looks like there's an agreement on the timing now. NAM and GFS agree. Well, NAM's just a tad slower. Again, morning is not too bad. It gets worse, I think, afternoon. That afternoon, at between 1 and 6 o'clock. 1 and 6, 7 o'clock is the worst. And you can see we're going to have, Long Island is going to have sustained winds of, and at least this says 30 to 40 knots. And if you look at the east end, it's going to be even higher. So the NAM's a little further east with its track, just a little bit. Which gives the east end of Long Island the worst of the winds. But I think Long Island will see the worst of the winds from this. And this is, like I said, sustained winds 50 miles an hour possible on the east end there. And this thing, like I said, this thing is gone by 8, 9 o'clock. It's out of here. So it moves through quick. And again, the Jersey Shore is also going to see some really strong winds, but it's not going to reach very far inland. So you may be dealing with very high winds right at the coast, like at Seaside Heights, but if you go into Lakehurst, more inland, it might not be that bad. So that's going to be a huge variation in that as this thing goes. And you can see there is the NAM. Now, we do have the HRRR as well, so let's go ahead and look at that one. We'll look at the zeros of the HRRR. So here's the HRRR. Its timing is very similar. HRRR seems to keep the worst of the wind away from the land, though, and just has it over the water. That would be nice if we were that lucky. I don't know if we are, but the South Shore is going to get nailed with a lot of wind, and then that moves up. And like I said, the fast movement is definitely going to be. It's going to be in and out. Going to be fast. That's a good thing about the storm, is it's moving quick. So we're going to look at some of the other models here that we have here in regards to wind speed. And we'll be looking at the Ventus Sky, which is also the HRRR. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. This also uses the HRRR as well. So let's do 1300. That's 1 o'clock. Here's your storm, tropical storm Isaias there, and you see the sustained winds. The Jersey Shore pretty bad, but they don't make it very far inland. So at the coast, you're going to have sustained winds 50 to 60, but you go inland, it's not too bad. Long Island so far, as of 2 o'clock, is just starting to ramp up. Here is 3 o'clock. Here is 4 o'clock. And you got the sustained winds now 30 miles an hour. But still the heaviest stuff, still offshore. And again, most of the rain is going to be on the left side. At least that's what the models seem to think. Here is, and here it is, 1800, so that's 6 o'clock. So we're still dealing with the southerly winds starting to die down a little bit, 29 miles an hour. But we got to look at the gusts. So I back this up now to 1 o'clock, and we go ahead and we look at the gusts. And here are the gusts. So this is where the gusts are really scary on the coast. Talking well over hurricane strength here at the Jersey, and still inland. The gusts can still penetrate inland. This is the HRRR again that we're looking at. So here, this is very bad. So this is 3 o'clock, and you can see the wind is just funneling into New York Harbor. I think there's going to be a lot more flooding along the Hudson River in Manhattan than people expect. With the wind like this, it's just going to pile the water in. Doesn't have a long time to do it, but it can do it pretty quickly, I think. And again, along the coast, you'll see we're going to deal with the 60-mile-an-hour gusts. Inland, still gusts to 50, 60 miles an hour. And you can see here is, oh boy, these are the gusts again. This is the 16th, so this is 4 o'clock, gusts to 74 miles an hour. All right. We're still dealing with those gusts as we head into 6 o'clock. And then finally, as we get later on in the evening, the winds start dropping off, and we're not dealing with as many wind gusts. Like I said, it's a very fast mover, but I do want to look at some of the other models here on this site here, because this does seem to have, I like the way the graphics are on this site. So let's go ahead and look at the GFS, and look at the GFS here. So this is the GFS. We'll go to wind speed first, or sustained wind here. So this is sustained wind, 2 o'clock. You could see, again, that southeast wind just pouring in the New York Harbor. I think there's a good chance that we're going to see inundations of Coney Island, or at least partial inundations of Coney Island, Long Beach, and the Barrier Islands, Jones Beach. And you can see that wind just roaring along the coast. But again, if you go inland, go to GFS, the wind backs off. Still bad, but not as bad as it is at the coast. So that's 2 o'clock, and then we go to 5 o'clock, and you will see here that Long Island is again dealing with these very strong winds here. That's the time frame. Right now, they're dealing with that 1 to 6 o'clock time frame. And we're dealing with these really strong winds. You can see Jersey's already done with them by that time. And then by 8 o'clock, we're done. According to GFS, it's not that bad. But that's the wind sustained. And then we go to the wind gusts. This is where it gets a little scary. So these are the wind gusts. And again, you can see those gusts could be hurricane force along the coasts here. South Shore, Jersey Shore, right in funneling in the New York Harbor there. Here is 5 o'clock, and you can see here that you're going to have those gusts there, 60 miles an hour, just over Long Island. So we're going to see some really strong wind gusts. There's going to be big power outage impacts, and I really think the railroad will probably wind up getting suspended at some point because it may not be safe to operate in these kind of winds. You know, when the winds are strong enough, they could derail a train. So the railroad might have to shut down. And then it moves on out, at least temporarily during the worst of it, for maybe like 3 hours or so. And then it moves on out by, as the GFS moves on out by 8 o'clock. Now we'll go ahead and look at windy, and we'll look at the European model. And I get through all these models here. And then I'll try to get one more hurricane update here as far from the Hurricane Center. So here is 12 p.m. See, this is the Euro. Let me pull this a little closer. Has it making that landfall, and then going along that I-95 corridor there. Southeast wind at 49, so Delmarva gets pounded around noon, and then as we get more toward 3 o'clock, it's our turn for it. So according to the Euro here, we're going to be dealing with sustained winds. Offshore 61 miles an hour. However, you can see that quick drop off there. So right along the coast, you'll be dealing with these very strong sustained winds. But if you go inland, it's not as bad, at least in New Jersey. For us, not quite as lucky here. The wind comes in. We got the sustained winds above 40 miles an hour already in much of Long Island. And then we'll go to, let's see if we can go to 5 p.m. here. Move this along 1 hour. See how fast this thing moves. All right, let's see. It doesn't even... And then, yeah, it's gone already by 6. So you see how fast this thing moves? So literally, it's going to race through here. But when it races through, we're going to be dealing with some really strong winds. And you can see all this stuff coming over Long Island here, all this stuff. Oh, and this is just the sustained winds. Wait, I got to show you the gusts. So let's go to wind gusts. This is where it really starts getting scary. So go over here. Yeah, gusts well over hurricane force in much of Jersey. Jersey Shore area, going into Nassau County. If I put it over Mineola, 80 miles an hour wind gusts. That's hurricane force. But then you can see it just moves on through. This is that 4 to 6. And then if we go to the next one, all right, this is 8 p.m. All right, still got the very strong wind gusts over here. This is 4 to 8 p.m. I don't know the way this site works, but you can see we're in that zone of seeing, even though we may not have a hurricane per se, I think we're going to see hurricane force wind gusts pretty much everywhere, especially along the shorelines. Euro's a little slower. It doesn't get it out here. We're still dealing with the winds at 9 o'clock. And then we're finally pulling out here of the storm here by 1 a.m. here. Euro, it seems to slow it down as it moves away. I think the Euro is being a little too slow with that. But generally, it's going to be a rough day tomorrow. We're going to go right now and look at the briefing from the Weather Service here on this and the latest. Let's see if the Hurricane Center has finally issued a new advisory for Hurricane Isaias. Public advisory. Let's see. It's still 8 p.m. All right, so still they have not updated it yet. Okay, because they said at 9 it was 85, not 75. So, but the tropical storm force winds, hurricane force winds extend outward up to 25 miles from the center, while tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 125. And a wind gust of 61 miles an hour and a wind gust of 69 miles have been reported. So, let's go to the latest briefing on Isaias, and then I wrap this update up. And like I said, I will do my best to try to keep you posted. Whether I do have a UPS on my computer, but power goes out, the internet goes out, and that might, limit my ability. I will try to provide you information on the phone, but it won't be once the thick of the storm gets here. I'm probably going to be out there trying to film it. So, because I really think people are not taking this seriously. A lot of News 12 did a survey, and most people are not taking this seriously, which is not good. So the hazard, flooding rain. This is mostly New York City, northeastern New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, and southwestern Connecticut. 2 to 4 inches, locally 4 to 6. 1 to 2 inches for more like our area. Strong winds, tropical storm warning, obviously widespread down trees and tree limbs. Power outages of a few days possible. Minor damage to roof and siding possible. That's New York City, coastal New Jersey, Long Island, coastal Westchester, and coastal Connecticut. Coastal shoreline inundation. Dune erosion, localized washovers, moderate coastal flood impact, slightly 1 to 2 feet, and locally 2 to 3 feet. I'm thinking more 2 to 3 feet. Dangerous marine conditions expected, obviously, on the waters. Not where you want to be. And we got the high surf as well. I don't think anyone would be out there in the middle of this. So, storm will be a bit faster with a bit stronger winds and a bit further west than 12 hours ago. This was old information, so it was a 70-mile-an-hour tropical storm when it hit, but when they put this together. This is going to be the most significant event since Sandy. Not saying it's going to be as bad as Sandy, but it's going to be the most significant event since Sandy. So keep that in mind, and I will keep you posted as long as I can on this system. And of course, we're also in the yellow for severe weather as well, because there is that isolated tornado threat that could also happen. This is going to be one hell of a storm, folks. So buckle up. That's all I can say. But the good news is it's going to be moving fast. It'll be in and out, but it's going to cause quite a bit of damage, I think, in the 4 to 6 hours that it's going to be with us at the worst of it. So that's going to be it for this weather update on Isaias. That's the way I'm going to say it. You have a good night.